All right. We are live. I did want to just check in since we missed last week. We've kind of collided with the holidays a little bit here with Epiphyte, just in terms of scheduling these weekly calls. But we've been active, and hopefully we'll be able to get a couple of things done during this university break, which we'll talk about right now, Tommy, because I do know Will is staying in town, and we got everything we need to wash coat the new monoliths, which are sitting in my house. So I'll check in with him, but I wanted to mostly just check in with you. How are things going, and where we left off just before the break?
Things are going good. I'm very optimistic about this next semester. It's great stuff. The chemistry team, Will talked about over the summer, they're doing a lot of testing so that by the time we come back, he can launch straight into actually like doing the final trial with the monolith and properly making it. It was really cool. I was very surprised. A lot of the students who are going to be in Austin over the break volunteered to help them as well to work on that. So that's going to be the thing that they're going to be working on over the break. Is he said that he was going to let each of them work on their own personal monolith and try different things and try to make sure they perfect the process of wash coating it and bonding sorbent.
He's going to use the duds that we got from Alibaba for that.
Yes. That's the plan.
That's a great use of it. Love it.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. I was really surprised because all these undergrads willing to spend their winter break doing it. But they seemed excited to do it. A lot of them. I think there was like 5 or 6 that were going to be in the area.
All right, maybe let's break out the monoliths. In the break. That's great.
That's great because that's the chemistry. Just because of the complexity of ordering and stuff like that, definitely is the thing that's going to take the most time to wrap up.
Great. We got Will and Seth just joined. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. If Will wants, he can talk more about. I was just talking about the monolith plan you had, Will, over the break with the students. If you want to.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. So pretty much on the last meeting, we had like really good turn. Sorry, can you guys hear me all right? By the way, I'm using a different mic.
It's great.
Yep, thank you. Hear you perfectly.
Cool. So basically at the last meeting, I just offered up to the students that if anyone's available after their finals up until I think like the 20th, I did plan to go back to Nebraska for a week, so I'll be gone after the 20th and then back on the 3rd, I believe. So I just asked everyone. I'll be around. I'm a grad student, so I'm on campus. I'll be in lab all the time. And we had like a couple students say yes. And my plan was just to do wash up on the monoliths. So I'm still going to purchase some buckets, but basically it's going to be just process of ethanol washing and then doing a base bath and then wash coating with the PI, drying it, weighing it, and seeing how it works out. And I just offered up if anyone wants to like basically have their own monolith, like only for themselves to work on and do the whole process, do pre-wash coats, then I'm more than happy to, be here and help. And we had like maybe 4 or 5 students said yes. So that's awesome. That's kind of the plan right now.
Will, can I swing by for that just to record it? If there's a session that you guys are doing that would be good. Part 1. And then the other one is Kirsch. I was just WhatsApping with this week, and he is available. Hey, J3NX, how you doing? Here's Evan too. Great. I thought we'd have just a little quick update because we're about to hit the holiday, but we got some joiners here. Hey, Evan, what's going on, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Good to see you. So Will, if we want to have like some guidance from Kirsch on that, like we planned all along, I sent you some WhatsApps around Thanksgiving around that, but let me know what's good and we can jump on a call and he can kind of, guide through in a pretty hands-on way, I think. I mean, maybe even next week. I don't know.
Okay, I have to reinstall WhatsApp. I actually had to delete it from my phone because I ran out of storage. So I didn't realize you were messaging me on it. So my bad.
No worries. Yeah, but he's stoked. And I think, as I told you, we got the new monoliths. The good news is they're the right monoliths. The moderately but addressable bad news is that they're square. A bit of a communication breakdown there. But what he said is so this will be a little hard to get in. It's 6x6 square. But he said there's no problem, and if we can get like a really good sawzall that is not going to cause it to powder, we could chop off the edges so it fits in the thing. But I was going to come to your last Thursday one, but had a slip up with my something at my kid's school. But I can drop these off to you, Will, at any time. You know, if you wanted to come by here, whatever, but would love to get these in your hands. And I'm glad you can use the Alibaba duds for testing. That's a perfect utilization of it. So good to hear. Nope, let me know if you can hear.
Yeah, sorry, I heard you. My bad. Yeah.
So, Will, would we want to do, since you're here for most of the break, except for that week when nobody's going to be doing anything, including myself, is there a world in which we might want to actually try to wrap up the actual wash coding of these guys with the actual process that we want to use during the break?
Oh, sure. Yeah. If Kirsch can if him and I can sit down and just get a solid game plan going, we can test it out. And if it looks like we're able to do it on our end, we can probably bang it out. I think I already got a response from 2 people saying that after December 16th on their file and they want to come in. So I have people ready. There's manpower there to do it.
Okay. Let me ask Kirsch actually for next week, since people will be on break, but if you're around and some of the chem people might be around who are on break, let me see if I can get Kirsch to join us during this slot, or maybe we move it a little bit, but have our call next week be just the sort of monolith kitchen.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Very, very cool. Great. Excited to hear that. These are heavier too. These guys, they're pretty hardcore. You would not want this to be dropped on your head.
Okay.
That's obvious, but worse than they're pretty heavy duty. Do we have access to some kind of real fine tooth, Sawzall, or something that you don't want to do this with something that will cause it to crumble? It would have to be a pretty fine blade to cut off the corners of that. Do you know if you guys have anything like that at UT, or if not, we can look around for it?
We could look into the machine shop. I'm not sure how fine their blade is. I have next to no experience with that. But I could talk to. We have some members inside the DAC team that have gotten certified in the machine shop, so we can talk to them and see what they think.
Okay, sounds great. And then, Tommy, what else is going on? I mean, I was so excited when I came a couple weeks ago, and the sequestration team had multiple little petri dishes out, and we're testing different solutions of wollastonite. I gave you guys, without my wife's permission, but I took one for the team there, our soda stream, which could be used in creative ways to inject CO2 into those samples. But yeah, what's going on with the other teams?
Yeah, so we just basically, this last meeting was just talking about launching it and what we're going to be doing next semester. It's kind of so that when we come back, we know exactly what we're going to do. Hit the ground running a little bit. So on the, I'll go in order. Sorry, mass transfer team. Putting it together. We have all the parts now. Over the break, all they're doing is compiling all the little pieces we haven't ordered just to put it together. The screws. More investigation in the chimney on how much of a big deal it'll be to drill through, epoxy, stuff like that. So just general work on we got all the pieces, now how are we gonna put them together? Just practicality and stuff like that. And making sure everything's sealed and all that. The sequestration team is, like you said, they're just investigating a lot of that stuff. And as soon as they come back, they're hoping to start working on the chamber that's gonna be flushing out to, actually making sure that that's structurally plausible and all those things. Of course, it's plausible to box. Structurally, they're going to be able to figure out the specifics of it. And then also the transfer between the DAC machine to the sequestration box. That's another thing that those two teams are, mass transfer and sequestration, are working together on. And then programming is just more code-based stuff. We've let some of them take the sensors home to try to get a better understanding of how they work. I've also offered to let them use the locker anytime if they want to take that stuff out. Yeah. So basically, they're just familiarizing themselves with all that stuff. So by the time they get back, every single team should be just about poised to start putting things together. And okay. If not, just working on calibration and stuff like that.
Great. And then again, we can use this break, since Will's around, to just really focus during the break on the sorbent, on the monoliths and the sorbent.
Yes.
So by the time the team gets back and are ready to put stuff together, we'll have the monoliths to drop into them.
That's right. Yes.
I think I owe you a couple bucks for some parts you ordered, now that I'm just forgetting about it. So I'll Venmo that to you.
Oh,
Tom.
sure.
What's what's the latest thinking on the mineralization chamber? We were kind of debating back and forth about maybe getting another chimney segment that would screw on the top, or having it separate. What's the latest opinion?
I think the current like plan that's always changing is a ball valve and a vacuum pump kind of deal. Just kind of like drilled to the side of the top of the machine. We did some measurements and it would fit with the current system we have now. Like it fit in there. So the idea is to just use those seals, create a tiny bit of a vacuum, which when we talked to every other team, it seemed, and all the other parts, it seemed like it wouldn't be significant of an issue. Pull it out to the synchronization chamber, close the ball valve, and then open the caps kind of thing. So pretty simple. Since we're already doing hands-on with the plugs, it shouldn't be too complicated to, have to do a physical ball valve as well.
If you get time to even sketch something on a piece of paper and take a picture of it or something like that,
Sure.
and drop it in the Discord just so we can take a look at it, that'd be great. But yeah, I like the ball valve idea with the vacuum on top. Cool. Any other updates on other part? When do you guys get back?
We get back. I believe it's gonna be December. Sorry, not December. Well, January. Sorry, 20th. I believe. I'm not sure. The 13th. I can look right now. Hold on.
Do you think it's possible, Tommy, with obviously the actual assembly of all the parts, particularly the mass transfer, will I guess do that sort of last? I'm wondering if with the software team, particularly if they have the sensors and are exploring, if we can make some progress on that during the break. Do you know if there's anybody like Alex, for instance? I know sometimes you guys get very short internships or work gigs, but was wondering if we might be able to, just to keep this going, work on some of the things that we can. So do the monoliths and the sorbent, but that's probably not going to take until the 20th. So we could maybe work on some of the software and sensor stuff.
I was wrong, by the way. We get back to 13th. I just checked.
Okay.
But yeah, it's possible that we get some programming. I don't know. I know that lots of them are busy over the break and they're going home and they're not possible to work together. When I spoke to them, I was like, hey, if anybody's available, I don't want to drag people out if they have already have winter break plans and stuff like that. But I will look into it. I'll ask them and I'll get back to you on that.
Okay. One other thing I could possibly do, which I offered to the team when I saw them a couple of weeks ago on a Thursday, is a colleague of mine who I've written stuff with, Caleb Woodall, is a mineralization specialist. He was the main author of the mineralization chapter for the CDR primer. And he's just a great guy and he knows a ton. So I had offered to them, do we want to do like a special little kind of workshop or teach-in where we could sort of present what we're trying to achieve and he could maybe give us some guidance on that. So that's one other thing I could do is, if we're looking to fill slots in ways that'll really contribute to the project, I can invite him on one of these Wednesdays and maybe we sort of talk through the design. And if one or two of the sequestration team, wherever they may be, could also make it, that'd be great. But even if they can't, it'll be recorded so they can get that information. So that's another thing I can book. We'll take the week off for Christmas for sure.
Okay.
But if we can try to keep it going, otherwise, even with a skeleton crew, we'll do that. And then I think we'd be in a good position by the time you guys get back. Maybe everything is fully most of the big pieces are kind of resolved. So it really is a matter of just assembling very quickly, somewhere in the middle of January.
Yeah, I know that the programming team at the minimum is definitely going to be looking at figuring out exactly how the sensors work and how the data is interpreted and stuff like that. So worst case scenario, we'll have at least that done by the time we get back. So
okay, I'll touch base with Alex separately. Anyway, he might,
sure.
We might be able to continue to work on some stuff. But all right, well, hopefully we get to that. We have a productive off session. Obviously, getting the sorbent and the monoliths done by the time people come back. But if we can make a bit of progress on the other parts so that you can really schedule a build day, 2 days maybe, or however long it takes, would be great. Anybody have any other questions or input? Because again, I was expecting this to be kind of a short call. I wasn't sure he was going to be able to show up. given the break. But let me know if
Just
anybody
double
has
check,
any.
Chris. I just wanted to ask. Next week we'll probably talk to Kirsch, right, and then get something going with the method for the wash coding from based off of Kirsch's experience.
My ideal situation would be next week. We have this session. It might not be. We'll have to work around his schedule, but we'll do a stream session with Kirsch, where talking through the very specific steps of how they do it, where you guys can ask questions, and you'll just be set, right? And
Perfect.
then that'll take us into the week of Christmas is the following week, right? Or am I off on that? Yeah, that would be the Christmas the following week. So what you and I can do, Will, is if the student team, right after they learn from Kirsch, if you guys want to go ahead and proceed with the wash coding process, we can at least, record that or take some pictures, and then working around Christmas, we could schedule the next stream, which will be you kind of reporting back. Hopefully we've succeeded, to be able to show the completed monoliths. So we can kind of knock out the next two, could be just monolith focused. And then maybe after that, I'll try to schedule Caleb to give us a sort of a teach-in on mineralization that specifically addresses like, this is what we want to achieve, and get his ideas. And that might even just take us through right to when people get back, because again, we do have the holiday in the middle.
Okay.
Cool. Did you maybe this weekend, Will, did you want me to drop off the monoliths at your place?
Yeah, whenever, and yeah, at campus, or I can come to you. It doesn't really matter for me. Whatever's easiest in your availability.
Yeah, whatever. Weekend would be fine. I don't have any soccer finally.
Cool.
My kids. So I'll yeah, let's just do Saturday or Sunday. I could drive down to you. We can catch up a little bit too.
Cool.
All right, guys. That's all I had. Anybody have any other thoughts? Evan, thanks for joining, man.
Yeah, I actually did. I was wondering if the sequestration team had sort of determined an optimal mixing ratio for the wasnite slurry yet. I noticed on the GitHub that they were looking at sort of 1-to-1 ratios of water to wasnite or similar ratios, but I found some papers recently that suggested higher ratios of water, like on the scale of 5-to-1 or 10-to-1 for water to wasite, were quite effective for increased conversion. So just wanted to bring that up.
Oh, that's great. If you could share that. Will, do you know, last time I saw them in their little test, I was standing next to you, so I wasn't sure if you were overseeing them or if that was a Tommy thing, but I can reach out to the head of that team and find out. And Evan, you're on our Discord, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I'll just create a little thread between them and you can share what you know, but I'm sure they'd be appreciative. So let me go ahead and make that connection.
All right. Perfect. Yeah.
Thanks for looking that up, though. Appreciate it. All right, fellas, I'll catch you later. And yeah, I'll let you know when we have what slot we have Kirsch for. Will, are there any? Well, I'll work that out with you and him on by email, just so that we make sure that you're the key person to be on that call, even if it was just you and him. So we'll work out a time that works for both of us and aim for next week.
Okay.
All right, cool guys. Catch you later.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Later, Chris.